David Silva.
David Silva, we keep saying it week in, week out. We've said it from the beginning of this season. He is probably the best midfielder right now in the Premier League, and maybe, top 3 in the world for sure. Easily top 3 in the world.
What's ironic is the game I just mentioned, Middlesbrough, in 2005.
Yeah.
It was another Spanish player.
Yeah.
It was Gaisca Mendieta.
I remember.
And he scored a couple of goals and had a couple assists that game, and he took over the game, and David Silva bossed this game.
He did.
Let me tell you what impressed me the most about him.
Yeah.
His defensive display versus Nani.
Oh, yeah. Nani was non-existent.
It was because of Silva. Silva shut Nani down. I never saw that coming.
Me either. I didn't think he had it in him.
I didn't either. I thought, here's a Spanish player, and he's great going forward.
Right.
I never realized the defensive capabilities of this guy.
Plus, he doesn't last 90 minutes, usually.
He was
all over the place.
He was all over the place, defensively, offensively. He was unstoppable.
He's
Rio
the heart.
Ferdinand looked like an MLS player.
The entire defense of United in this game looked like an MLS player.
Rio Ferdinand tracking back, facing his own goal, but with his head turned back.
Yeah.
Like, he's trying to make up ground. He can't even track backwards. He has to run towards his own goal with his head back like this.
Yeah.
And trying to catch up to Silva, who is just everywhere, cutting left and cutting right, sending the ball out to Milner, who crosses back in for Aguero.
Silva's amazing, and it's like the ball is glued to his feet. He reminds me a lot of Deco when Deco was hot in, I'm talking like the Porto years.
I think he's better because Deco was a little bit slower.
Yes.
His movements were a little bit slower.
He has more pace.
Silva is more explosive as far as like the initial push.
Well, Deco, the one thing he had is he had amazing skill. He could deliver
my
that
God.
ball, pinpoint accuracy, and he's better at that than Silva.
And a touch.
Yeah. His touch was incredible, and he had
But the
skill.
vision, Silva's vision, you bring that to the Premier League, and it's just shocking to see.
It's
It's
good.
beautiful.
It's good
beautiful.
to see the Silvas and the Matas in the game.
It's
I like
unbelievable.
it. I like it.
It's who needs La Liga?
You already have the best league in the world because it's the most competitive,
And now they bring
you're bringing in class.
You're bringing in skill and the beauty of the game.
Let's bring Ronaldo back and maybe bring Messi along, and there's no reason to watch any
You're
other
saying
soccer.
let's? No, I'm telling you right now, it's happening, and I've made a YouTube video for it. Check it out on upper90studios.com.
Okay.
Shameless
Plug.
Let me tell you something. Here's another player that had an unbelievable game that nobody else is talking about.
Milner.
No.
Who?
Torre.
Yaya.
Yaya Torre versus Fletcher and Anderson.
I like saying Yaya.
Yaya Torre completely bossed Fletcher and Anderson.
Yeah, because Fletcher sucks.
Fletcher is awful.
He's really awful.
Anderson got fat again. I don't know what happened there.
He's missing his boy Cleverly.
Yeah, when he tries to, oh my God, it's frustrating to watch when he has an off game.
Because
he can't make a pass.
He needs help, and he's not getting
He
that.
can't be the star in the middle. And Fletcher and Anderson can't track as much as Yaya Torre. Yaya Torre is just 3 times the athlete of these guys.
Are you suggesting bring Owen Hargreaves back?
No, never. That freaking Judas.
He hasn't played either, so
Can I say that?
you can say Judas, I'm sure.
No, this guy freaking. They pay him for years. They pay to put food on his table for his family, and then as soon as he leaves, he blames them for his problems.
Well, he's not playing now either.
He came
so-
hurt.
Yeah, he's not playing here either.
He had a broken leg when he came over. They fixed it. They put you back together.
It happens.
Oh my God, I can't believe it. That would have been the icing on the cake if he had played.
Yeah.
And you know what? Anybody that played on that day, they would have done well. What's his name? The defender.
Who, Micah Richards?
Micah Richards.
What about him?
What heart?
Well,
what he lacks in skill, he completely makes up for in heart.
Well, and sheer massive size.
Unbelievable for the league. And now they're 5 points up. The Liverpool game from United now looks like it was a mistake. That point at Anfield.
Yeah.
Because he didn't go for it. I don't know what he was thinking putting in
He wanted a
Carling
tie.
Cup,
He
a
got
Carling
it.
Cup lineup.
Right.
He didn't want it. And this is the mentality of Mancini normally.
Yes. Yeah, get the point away. Get the point away.
This is the mentality of Mancini, and Ferguson tries to pull it off.
It was bad.
And it backfired last 2 games. He is looking senile, like you said.
That's what I'm thinking. Either that or the Scotch.
Then again, I think it's just 2 games.
It is just 2 games.
Come on.
They're going to be ups and downs the whole season. We said this. It wasn't going to last.
It's October.
We said this. It wasn't going to last. When
Yeah.
the season gets cold and wet.
But let me tell you
and
something.
That's what's going to happen.
You know what's really missing?
What?
Cleverly.
Cleverly.
That's bad. That's a bad loss.
It is.
When you felt it. You felt it because it was, they start at a 10 out of 10. And then suddenly, Cleverly goes down. They come down to a 9. And then somebody else goes down. Chris Smalling goes down. They come down to an 8. And then they lose Chicharito, 7, 6. Next thing you know, the team chemistry is gone.
Exactly.
All of a sudden, they're at a 6 and a 5, and they meet Manchester City, who's on the rise. They're at an 8 or a 9 at the moment.
You know who else is missing in
Now
that
they're
midfield?
at a 10. Now they're at 11.
You know who's really
It's
missing?
scary from here on.
I'll tell you who's really missing in that midfield. Schneider.
Oh, man, don't tell me that.
But think about it. If Schneider's in this lineup,
He doesn't look stupid. He has Champions League experience, this guy.
but that's my point. United
Anderson
should have
is a
forced it.
clown. Anderson is a clown.
Anderson is never going to be Schneider ever. It's just not going to happen. He doesn't have the brains for it.
He doesn't have the... what did he eat in Brazil?
Anyway,
Carne asada.
they're missing.
Carne asada.
That's a guy they should have gone for. Either him or Nasri. I know they're not the same type of player, but
Well, they tried to get Nasri, but they couldn't match the funds.
Right, but you need someone that can be explosive and someone that can hold the ball. And Cleverly's been doing that.
And Anderson
it's been
doesn't score. I mean, he
and-
scored a couple
right.
goals in the beginning, but that's a fluke.
It's
not in his nature.
But it's not, though. It's because Cleverly was doing the defensive duties,
and it
owning
frees them up.
It was owning that midfield and allowing
He
Anderson to go up.
He does all the Yaya Toure work,
Yes,
except even more. They're both very skillful.
they are.
But yeah, he does the hard work behind the scenes, and then it lets Anderson do his magic. And now he tries to do all the hard work, and he can't pull it off.
And you can't bring Paul Scholes out of retirement.
No, and I don't want to. He was crazy at the end.
Yeah.
He lost it. It was all red cards here, everywhere.
Yeah, so
more than usual.
Look, people are going to be talking about, it's the shift of power. It's it's not. It's a game. It's one game.
This is an excuse to make Rooney captain for me. This is
he
the only
should be.
positive coming out of this, is that you see where the heart is on the team. And the heart is in Danny Welbeck and Rooney.
And
that's
Phil
it.
Jones.
And Phil Jones.
That's it.
That's the heart of the team. These guys are the heart.
I saw more heart.
Give them the confidence. Don't take it away from them.
I saw more heart coming out of 8-year-old shoulder boy, De Gea,
Yeah.
whom you hate, than I did from Rio freaking Ferdinand.
You know what's funny?
It's sad.
You know what's funny? He gets 6 goals scored on him, and I hate him less.
Well, because none of them were his
They
fault.
weren't his fault, and he was hungry. He was pissed.
You saw it.
He was pissed.
Him and Rooney were the only ones who actually took that result to heart.
Yeah.
It was embarrassing to them and no one else.
But then Rooney, he's as much as I love him, he's too dumb.
He's a
So he tries
hooligan.
to be freaking Paul Scholes.
He's
and
a
tries
hooligan.
to control the midfield. Just go up front. This is what you're good at.
Well, because he goes up front, and who's going to feed him the ball? No one.
Well, at the end there, he had Chicharito before they scored 5 goals.
Right.
He could have played up there, but instead he tries to play center back.
He can tell. He can tell what's missing in that midfield.
He tries to
And
play
He
fullback.
tries to help.
He tries to play fullback, and that's not your job.
Right.
That's not your job, Rooney. But he's too dumb. He's like a bulldog. He's like a dog.
That worked when Ronaldo was up front.
United need him up front, so it takes some of the pressure off the back. Period.
Anyways, look, you can summarize this thing. It was one game.
It was a red card, which completely changed the game.
Exactly.
And then they just were too immature to handle the counterattack.
Well,
and they got burned and they gave up.
After the third goal, it was just, that game was over.
And if anybody saw the Middlesbrough game I'm talking about in 2005, it was the same exact thing, except this has more meaning because they're the rivals.
Yeah.
And there's a shift in power slightly.
I don't see it. I mean, they're gonna be going at each other all season,
There's so much
just
going to
like
happen.
we predicted in
Listen,
the beginning.
Rooney's going to go down with injuries. Silva's going to go down with injuries. Aguero's going to go down with injuries. Maybe Balotelli is going to blow himself up, lose a toe.
You never know what's gonna happen.
I can see him blowing up a toe.
Throwing knives at the staff. Whatever.
Darts.
Well, knives are worse.
Yeah. So
Anyways, look,
he might end up the season without a toe.
It was a red card that changed the game, and let's stay on the red card theme and let's talk about Chelsea real quick.
What the heck was that? Helgeson. That dive against David Luiz.
I loved it.
What the heck was? How does the ref? I don't understand that.
It looked like Spain. It was really
no,
sad.
that looked like Italy.
Oh yeah, Italy.
No, that was unbelievable. What was the worst dive ever?
Gilardino.
Gilardino for AC Milan against Celtic. I'll never forget this. He takes about 5 steps. He does get touched outside the box, I think. And he takes like 5 steps into the box and just flops onto his knees. Do you have one?
I think Pedersen's dive was worse.
Morten Gamst?
Yeah.
Pedersen?
Yeah.
We have it on the site.
Because he looks back. There's no one near him. Well, there's a guy near him, but he didn't touch him at all. He looks back to see where the ref is and then just dives. It was the worst thing I've ever seen. I'm glad Joey Barton beat the crap out of him. I wrote all about it in one of our blogs.
Well, this is pretty much. I mean, this is not as bad. The Helgeson one in Chelsea.
Luiz, was just laughing.
Stunned.
He was stunned at that call, and he has every right to be.
There's a touch, but give me a break.
No.
That's a yellow.
And all the whining that AVB did after the game about how the referees have it in for Chelsea. He's right.
He is right.
The last 3 games have been really bad calls that changed the freaking game.
Yeah.
And cost Chelsea points. Look, Chelsea could have been in second place.
Yeah, it was a great chance, and then I was very surprised. I was completely surprised.
And then, of course, you have the Bosingwa sending off.
30 minutes in.
What the? Come on, man. They were both holding each other. I don't know.
There was contact both ways, and the player keeps going.
Right. And he got up. Wright Phillips got up and just, tried to go again. Yeah, it was Wright Phillips.
Wright Phillips gets up and keeps going like, I wasn't fouled. I can still go.
Yeah.
They were both tussling for the ball.
It was a really bad call. It was
Red
2
card,
really bad calls that changed
penalty
the game.
and then
sending off.
half hour in.
Yeah. Look, and Chelsea played 50 minutes down 2 men, but I have to say they deserve to play down that second man because what the hell, Drogba? Do you not learn from Torres?
What the hell? He's probably pissed off about his concussion that he had.
You know what's going on, right? Torres is coming back next game.
Yeah.
Drogba's not going to get any playing time, so his excuse is, let me get suspended
That's
for
why
3
I'm not
games.
That was unbelievable. 2-footed. And then he's surprised that he got a red.
Unbelievable. It was
That's
just
all
as
he
bad
can
as
do.
the Torres
That's all he
tackle.
can do. That's
You
all
know
he
it's
can
going to
do.
be 3 games.
He's got nothing left in the tank. He's done.
Torres is going to come back, and he's going to start. So, hey.
Drogba's in France next year.
Oh, yeah, he's done. He's done at Chelsea, for sure.
He's in
France.
old. He's
old.
in France. But speaking of red cards and craziness and referees, let's talk about La Liga and Barcelona.
All right.